This is Amber.
And Tom.
And this is Philip.
And this is something to celebrate. Thank you for joining us today in the second Tuesday in September.
Yes, it is.
It's, September, every time I hit the second, you just get started with September and you think, oh my gosh, it's only two weeks left. Isn't that crazy? Mm-hmm. And they're already selling. We're what? We have been
on a year, October.
October.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
October. We did? Okay, so I thought it was January.
Yeah, I thought. Well, anyhow.
Well, anyhow,
We'll
no
go
matter
with
what
Mr. Producer
yeah,
says.
come on, Matt. Matt, the producer is always right. I think that's the mantra.
About time somebody realized that.
Matt, the producer, always right. We'll put that up on a little meme for him.
I'm going to put a little thing up on here on Facebook.
Yes.
That says, I'm always right.
He lets us be seen and heard.
Exactly, and we love Matt. But it's so exciting to be with you today. And oh my goodness, sorry about that, people. This is live radio, and I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb.
That's rule one. You set your phasers to stun.
I hate cell phones that go off on in opportune times, but that's what it happens. At least I didn't answer it,
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I should have answered and say, by the way, you're alive on air.
I'm not doing that.
Bill collectors. So, Tom, besides the second week of September, what word of the day are we celebrating today?
Well, this is a strange word, jackanapes. And I go, what on earth?
Oh, my gosh.
It is a conceited or impertinent person or a mischievous child.
Okay.
It also is a word that is used of a certain kind of monkey.
Okay.
And you can use it in a sentence by saying, my toddler sure is a jackanapes.
A jackanapes. I think, oh, my
Impertinent,
gosh.
conceited.
It sounds like something between a jack-in-the-box
Jack
and an
Batty.
ape. Probably it should be in a Monty Python film somewhere, the Jackanapes.
Yes.
The giant jackanapes. So that's just really cool that we can just use a new word about jackanapes. And actually I've asked Philip, my token British guy, some British slang phrases he'd like to
Oh, my
interject
goodness.
into our knowledge today. What would you like to?
You're putting me on the spot.
Well, anytime you want to interrupt with one, it would just be delightful.
I was just looking some up there a little bit, just ones that are less used over here. Like, do you know what a nick is? Nick or nicked?
Nicked?
Yeah, we use nick in place of steal. So if you nick somebody's pen, you're stealing their pen.
Take this car.
Oh.
This car.
Now, nicked, you can say I nicked his car, but now nicked can also be used to mean arrested. So if you got nicked by the old Bill, you've been arrested by the police.
The old Bill.
The old Bill, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm showing my age here.
The old Bill. Well, it's so funny because these old, Philip has been educating me on old things that, British tradition and how he used to get paid in envelopes. The old.
I think
money
you're just showing how
envelopes.
young you are, because I think even people over here know what wage packets are.
Do you know what wage
They were literally a
packets are?
little paper packet of plastic with your pay was in there, but it was literally to the penny
Yeah.
in cash every week.
You had it. Did you remember
Yep.
that, Tom? Tom is older than us all.
No, that's
Okay,
beyond
maybe
me.
we're just weird.
Yeah. So money packets.
Yeah,
Must be a Brit thing.
wage packet. Yeah.
Wage packets. Okay.
Like it'll be a check stub.
Well,
That'll be a wage packet.
yeah, but
But this was before we got checks,
This was money.
Definitely before direct deposit.
yeah.
Tom, yes. Philip, no.
So literally, you can look it up online. I should put it in the comments below what a wage packet is. From the old school British system.
And they didn't round it up. They paid you to the penny. You had coins in there as well.
So
They
it's
paid you to the
literally an envelope
Yeah.
with your pay stub in there and coins and not dollars, but but British sterling. So you got paid. And did you get paid in old money or new money?
What do you mean old money? I'm not that old. Yes, we got paid in groats.
You got paid in little
No.
rocks and.
Actually, decimalization did happen in my time, but I was only like 5 when that happened, so
Yeah. So,
I wasn't making money then. I wasn't sent down the mine or anything.
Yeah. So you didn't get paid in farthings and penny farthings or.
No,
you
but I
know.
have some at home.
Yeah, so we do know the old school system, but yeah. So wage packet
Mm-hmm.
is a British term for how old school you got paid with
Yeah.
actually cash in an envelope.
And that's before banks were popular with people because they would literally carry their wage packet with them anywhere.
Yes. So you just
You know,
whip it out of your pocket.
They didn't bother putting it in the bank. They just carried it around or
Yeah, you wouldn't want to
hide it under the mattress, that
Wait.
kind of thing.
Bury it in the backyard.
I'll never find it.
A tin can. Put it in a tin can, bury it in the
Yeah.
backyard. Now, Tom, besides burying stuff in the backyard, you do have a natural solutions, but not for keeping
Yes.
money. In
Yeah,
a
we don't have a
packet.
natural solutions for your cash, but we do have milk thistle. Milk thistle is a natural substance that improves skin health. It also helps to detoxify the liver and pancreas to control diabetes. Detoxifies the liver, supports healthy liver function, aids the liver's cellular regeneration, boosts immune response, and powerful antioxidant properties neutralize free radicals. And you can get milk thistle at www.naturalsolutionsstore.bz.
I like milk thistle. It's a good thing.
Mhm.
It is a good thing. It's a good thing you don't have to eat it like raw. You can just swallow it. Kind of like apple cider vinegar. I think natural solutions is that all. It's like sometimes these old time remedies you just don't want to like chew on or drink. It's just like great. You have that. So tell us what else we are celebrating on September the 10th.
Well, in the month of September, we are, I think one we didn't cover last week is a National Piano Month
Wow.
and Little League Month. And it's also, this is good year-round, National Courtesy Month.
Oh, wow.
And on
That's a good-
September 10th, we are celebrating International Makeup Day.
Oh, wow. I'm glad I put on
Yes,
some
there
makeup
are
today.
some who need that more than others. And National Hot Dog Day.
Okay.
And on a more serious note, World Suicide Prevention Day.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
Now, there's a couple of really odd ones here
Okay.
that I have on a separate sheet, and they will require a little bit of explanation.
Okay.
International Creepy Boston Dynamics Robotic Horse Day. That is a real thing. It's a real thing. It's dedicated to a robotic horse made by Boston Dynamics, which is so lifelike that it can be pretty creepy. It's based off of one of their other robots, the Big Dog, and has a technical name, Legged Squad Support System, LS3. Its
Wow.
creation was funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency and by the United States Marine Corps, which makes you go, huh. By using its computer vision, this robot can follow its human master around without someone controlling it or driving it. It also has
Wow.
GPS, obstacle avoidance, terrain sensing, can also use its camera to gather intelligence. With the ability to go over rough terrain, it was designed to help to be able to go anywhere that Marines and soldiers go on foot.
Wow.
It can carry up to 400 pounds and was designed to help carry their loads. Its battery allows it to walk approximately 20 miles.
Wow.
It's almost 5.5 feet tall and weighs about 1,200 pounds. So September 10th became International Creepy Boston Dynamics Robotic Horse Day because it was on that day in 2012 when 2 prototypes were demonstrated in an outdoor test.
Oh, wow.
They exhibited their trotting and jogging capabilities as well as their visual and perceptual capacity. And more testing was done in 2012, 2013, and there were hopes that a marine company would be using one in the field by 2014. However, the Marines put them in storage in 2015 because they were loud. and they were difficult to repair when breaking.
Kind of like.
And there was a challenge of
They were
integrating
loud.
them into marine patrols. So can you imagine all those Marines out there on
Yeah.
patrol, and you got this 1,200-pound mechanical horse?
making very
Now,
loud noises.
are they house trained, or do you have to like shovel up, get little piles of batteries everywhere that you have to shovel?
Yeah, so they put some specialists back behind them, you know,
yeah,
cleaning
oh,
up.
that's hilarious.
I guess it depends if they're AAAs or D
There we
cells.
go.
You know.
But on this date in 2014, the first, on a more serious note, the first Invictus Games were held.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
international games that bring together wounded armed forces personnel and veterans who compete in athletic competitions. The 2014 Invictus Games were held at the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park in London.
Yes.
300 competitors from 13 countries participated in the games, and they have continued.
Yes.
So in 2019, actually beginning today, the games are being held in The Hague in Netherlands, and they're also scheduled for about this time next year in 2020, also
Yeah.
in the Netherlands.
Well, you know, Prince Harry did a lot to establish the Invictus Games, and he's very, very active in that. And you can see him, and he started that because of his stint in the armed forces, and he, you know, that kind of came out of that, which his heart for veterans and the wounded personnel, and it's really excited actually to witness the Invictus Games. If you go online, you can see those past games, and we look forward to the new games. So, and another day in history.
Yeah, in 1846, the patent for the sewing machine was awarded. The USPO awarded a patent for the first sewing machine with a lock stitch design. It was awarded to Elias Howe from Spencer, Massachusetts. While he had little success marketing his machine in the U.S., machines similar to his design became very successful, especially among women. The
Wow.
similarity of this machine sold by Isaac Singer, founder of the Singer Sewing Machine Company, to Howe's machine prompted Howe to take Singer to court, and he won the case.
Oh, wow. Well, that's one thing I've always wondered, you know, is sewing going to be, I mean, literally, I would like a sewing machine that would sew itself, you know, you wouldn't have to guide it. So I'm looking for that to happen, like the wand you put over your cloth that actually mends stuff, because goodness knows I don't like to darn socks. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Did you darn socks when you
Nope.
were? No, and we just got to the point where, like, okay, if there's so many holes in your socks, it gets thrown out, you know.
Yep.
But you did darn socks when you were
Yeah, back in the day.
back in the day. We have a Say Grace moment in honor of our intern Gracie.
We miss you, Gracie.
We miss Gracie. But we have Matt, who's just left the studio without a cue of, hey, I guess he didn't smell the food as he was coming in. But we'll wait till he gets in here. But I really love some of our downtown restaurants and businesses, and I've gone to this one for a long time. It was actually the first coffee house before Starbucks, the Mud House Coffee. And have you been there, Tom?
Love Mud House.
Love Mud House. It was founded by two local guys, and they actually used to throw pottery in the back room there and do pottery lessons. In fact, a lot of the time you'll see the cups that they use there, the actual physical cups, not the paper cups, are ceramic. They're handmade by one of the owners who has a pottery studio, and he teaches pottery. Jason, you might have to get over here instead of Matt. Or get Matt in here. Long uncomfortable silences. Come on in. Come on over here, Jason. You're gonna take his place.
You get his food.
You get his food. Poor Matt. Okay, so
That sounds good to me.
Are you hungry? Are you hungry, Jason?
Not hungry, but for delicious things.
Yeah, it would work. Okay. So one thing we love about the Mud House is they have some amazing
There.
smoothies. Have you been to the Mud House, Jason?
I have.
It's really good, isn't
Love
it?
it, yes.
Yeah, it's
the
kind of
smoothies especially, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the smoothies
Yeah.
are really good. I love their muffins. I have a selection of some of their best muffins, and these are monster muffins, I think. And this is one of my. Now, are you a nut allergy? See, Matt,
It's all right. He
you're
can-
missing
can
it.
I am
this
definitely a nut.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
Matt.
So
Okay, so this is the cranberry nut muffin.
Oh,
I'm gonna
my
take-
favorite.
This is the favorite. This is
Sounds
the
good.
muffin top. I love the muffin top. Like
That's
that's
my favorite part.
Isn't the muffin top your favorite part? They
I like
said-
the center. Well, I like the whole thing,
We-
usually.
One of my friends who's a comedian said, skinny jeans, they should really just make a muffin top jean. But that's another
Thanks for that visual.
Yeah.
So lovely, lovely muffins. So this is the cranberry nut. Love this. It's my favorite. So I'm going to give this to Jason. You can just chow down on that.
Break out the vacuum.
I know.
Yes.
I do
And
have a piece for you,
Hey, I'm all about it.
Matt. Even though you're not technically here in view, you can still talk.
Well, you know,
Here you go, Matt. You want to pass that over? Here, Philip.
all
Since-
right. Which one is
Why,
this?
thank
This
you.
is the cranberry nut muffin.
Cranberry nut?
Cranberry nut.
I didn't
Okay.
know there was such thing as a cranberry nut.
Cranberry and walnut.
Oh, okay.
So, the one thing I like about it, and if you can hear the chewing, nice and crunchy.
Oh, pardon me. I'm getting stuck on this here.
What do you think, Jason?
That's amazing. I can taste the cranberries, the English walnut. The top is crisp and sweet. There's,
Did you say English walnut?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know it for the accent.
Philip knows all about that.
Yeah.
Are you calling
You know
me a
what they
walnut?
call English walnuts in England?
What?
Walnuts.
Yeah. Because it's funny, they've never heard of black walnuts.
Love black walnuts.
They don't realize there's more than one kind of walnut.
So nice and crunchy. They actually make their at Mud House. They actually make
It tastes like
their
a fruit
own
cake muffin.
bakery. Yeah, they have their own bakery, so they actually bake their muffins every morning.
It tastes like a fruit cake.
Mm.
It's really not that bad. It doesn't taste bad like most fruit cakes.
Okay, I love fruitcake. They
Me
ha-
too.
Brits
always
are
send the
like
people I
known
was
for their
mad at.
fruitcake. I love. They actually have wedding cakes that are fruitcake. That's their, their
Gross.
traditional.
I wish everybody that hates their fruitcakes at Christmas time would just give them to me.
Yeah, exactly. You never say. Yeah. So that is the cranberry nut, and we're gonna try the next one. Is
so
my
many.
other favorite. This is the extra fibrous muffin, but it's really good.
It's bran.
Well, it's called Glorious Morning.
Mm.
So if Glorious Morning involves bowel regularity,
Tell us all about it.
this is a natural solution.
Now I gotta say, this is gonna be hard
Colon
to
cleanse
beat.
muffins.
That's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is really, really moist and lovely. And I'm going to get Jason. Here you go.
Man, I'm still eating this. What's left over from what you just gave me?
Okay.
That stuff is
Oh,
good.
and look at how that looks.
Here you go.
That's a work of art.
You know what else is really good is
Thank you.
streusels. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness,
You
it's
eat
got
that much-
dates in it.
It has raisins in
Raisins.
Walmart has a lemon streusel bunt cake that's
Yeah.
really good.
it. So,
Port's on.
That's okay.
He's eating vicariously through us.
so it really, what does it remind you of, Jason?
Mm.
It reminds me
cake.
of when I was a child. They had canned brown cake,
This reminds me of
and we
carrot cake.
loved it. We loved it so much. We could get it at the grocery store. They don't have it here. Rarely they have it,
Yeah.
but that is phenomenal as well.
It has a nice crusty kind of oat type of top, and it's supposed to be good for you because it has the raisins, it has carrots in it.
It does. It tastes like carrot cake.
You can taste the. Is it ginger? No.
Yeah.
It's got oats on the top.
Clove.
It almost does
Boy,
taste like
that
there's a bit of
is
ginger
so
in there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know that it. Okay, so sometimes you can have two things that are the best.
So both of those are the best for you?
Right? I can't. I wouldn't. I
What
wouldn't
he's
be
saying
able
is
to-
he can't decide between the two which one he likes
Yes.
the best.
Yeah.
So he would just buy both.
You can get something as good but not better. I
Well-
guess that's how I would say.
There we go.
One of the things I do sometimes when I go to Mud House is we get like multiple things and we split them, you know. So hey, have a bite of the Glorious Morning and the cranberry nut, and it's like we split it, and then we have another one, and it's just like this buffet of tastes.
Yeah.
So here I have the third, and this is the
So bring your friends so you can
bring
try
your
more
friends.
things.
So you
Where
can
is this
try more.
at?
This is downtown on South Street,
Mm-hmm.
right by the square. They have so many
What's the
great.
name of the place?
The Mud House.
Oh, we've been there many times.
You love the Mud House. So it's been around. When did it? I think the Mud House started was it 90? It was right after we came back from.
Yeah, mid to late 90s must
London.
be. It's before we had kids.
Yeah. And right now they're doing a they're trying to lessen the plastic consumption at their store. So now their knives are wood and their utensils are wood.
Really?
Yeah. So if you ask for a takeout utensil,
And they're great fire starters when
and
you're done.
yeah, you just
I was
You
going to
just-
say something funny, but it was too irreverent. All right, so I'll say it. I was going to say, save a turtle, kill a tree.
Save a turtle what?
Kill a
Kill a
tree.
tree.
to save a turtle, kill a tree.
No, but they breed the trees. I think probably too
Yeah.
Or they.
Send your hate mail to.
to grow fast.
What is your Axe Media Group disclaimer? We might need to put that in there.
Oh, yeah.
Forgive me.
Views expressed on this program are not necessarily.
The views and opinions expressed on Something to Celebrate or by Jay
Now, what did you say this is again?
at Springfield are not necessarily the views and opinions of Axe Ministry or any of its subordinates or subsidiaries.
This is a mocha
Jay.
cinnamon.
A
So,
what?
Mocha cinnamon. Ooh.
Really?
I
yeah.
don't think I've had this one.
I
So-
taste. Is there rum? Is it a rum cake?
I'm waiting for my.
let me taste that further. Do you taste rum?
Ooh, this has got coffee in it.
If I do, I'm not telling.
That's really good too.
This
So
has
that
coffee
would
in it.
not be my first choice. These two I would have a trouble deciding.
This is it. This is number one for me.
It is the coffee one?
Yep,
Okay.
absolutely.
It is quite good. But I think, the funny thing is their coffee might, some of their coffee has it has they have so many blends of coffee. I know this morning when I got coffee, there was a drip coffee that was Kahlua based coffee, not that has Kahlua. Kahlua.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So maybe they use that in that, but they
It's
have so
delicious.
many different flavors. But so Mud House,
That has
So-
a sweeter crisp on the top too,
Yeah,
and
it
I like
does.
that.
Yeah.
it's really crunchy and nice. And one of the things I really like is moist muffins, like really crunchy tops, moist in the center, taste fresh, bake. And I just anointed you with.
I
My-
didn't even.
That's
But
a part
hey,
of the
these
show.
are good.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So you would
I can
say the
understand.
cranberry and Glorious Morning top for the race.
with this top on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's amazing too.
Yeah.
The
so-
top is worth it.
Yeah.
Brings
so,
it right back
You
up
could
there.
you could mix them, make this kind of Franken muffin.
And
Take
Frankenmuffin.
pieces.
well, it also
I have a
had
Franken
that makes
muffin.
it a little bit more, because the
Franken
crisp sweet top came in a little bit after the rest of it. So
Yeah.
I like dynamic taste flavors like that. Something that the initial flavor of it isn't the finish either. You get something else to finish it.
Yeah, and they have such really good, as I said, their baked goods. I have yet to find their baked goods, although Dorcas, Tom's wife, she's a bake-off chef
Yep.
of any proportion, and I always said that Dorcas's brownies will trump Mud House brownies anytime.
Oh yeah. And
So Dorcas,
her scones are amazing.
Dorcas, if you're
Yeah.
watching,
And we're
And that's a high compliment coming from a Brit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, as a Brit, she makes some amazing scones.
well, thank you, Jason, for
You're
joining
welcome.
us today, and
You're welcome.
and you
Thank
can take
you.
your muffin bits
all right.
over to the. Well, instead of muffin tops, we'll just mark it muffin bits. You know. More muffin bits, but we are loving this. The tasty treats of the Mud House. So check it out over on South Street. I'll put it in the comments below. Less than $2.85 for a muffin, which is really really big and full, and they have lovely things like quiches. Their quiches are amazing if you've ever had, and then they have breakfast burritos, and then they have the
Oh yeah, you got to try their Boom Boom burrito.
Boom Boom burrito. It's
That is
amazing.
amazing.
So, on that note, we're going to bring out some friendly creatures to segue to. How do you go from muffins to snakes? I don't know. Only here on Something to Celebrate will you find that impeccable segue. Muffins to snakes.
Absolutely.
It's like snakes and ladders, but muffin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snakes and muffin tops. Well, so Philip, we have some events coming up with the.
We do, yeah. Two weekends in a row, we've got some amazing events happening. This first Saturday at the Fairbanks School on, was that North Broadway?
Yes,
Yes.
North Broadway.
We have our, once again, Reptile Day at the Fairbanks. We do this twice a year. It's a free community event where we just try to get people educated on all kinds of reptiles, not just snakes. We have lizards, turtles, and some other exotic little critters. It's completely free. It goes from 10 to 2 on Saturday the 14th of September. So, yeah, bring your kids. They'll get to hold snakes, get to hold other reptiles. And then the weekend afterwards, Saturday the 21st, at the Ozark Empire Fairground, we have the third Show Me Snakes Springfield show. This is actually a show where you can actually buy your own reptiles.
Exactly.
And all kinds of reptile bits and pieces. Very reasonable as far as reptile shows go. It's $5 for adults. Kids 12 and under are free. And they also have free admission for servicemen and first responders.
Yeah.
And that's a great show. So, speaking of snakes,
Yeah. Speaking of snakes, come out and
it
bring.
wouldn't be a great show if we didn't bring a few of our little friends for you to meet.
Yes. So introduce us to the first one. I know some of them are making a second appearance, but we have some making their very first
Yeah,
appearance.
we are going to pass snakes around.
Okay. With muffins? Is that?
Oh, they won't eat the muffins.
Okay. This one's already trying to get out. Okay.
Now, what I brought today, as most of my snakes are one of the best pet snakes, these are all ball pythons. Ball pythons are a fantastic first snake.
Very friendly.
They are they're very docile, very friendly. They don't move too quickly. They're not the kind of snake that would freak you out. So this is my friend Charlie. He's about 2 years old, and one of the great things about ball pythons, as well as being friendly, as being very affordable, is they come in some fantastic patterns and morphs. This particular one is one of my favorites. He always attracts attention. He's called a pied, which is kind of short for piebald. You wouldn't see them like this in the wild. They are more patterned like you would see on the back here. But they're just so stunning. He always seems to calm people down.
Yes.
There's just something about him. He doesn't look like a wild caught snake,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So he's usually the first one that people like to hold. You know,
Yeah.
they don't have a fear of a snake that looks like this. You know, he's kind of our poster boy.
Yeah, he is a poster boy. He's a service snake, really.
He is a service snake. They're so relaxing. There's something very therapeutic about having a snake just gently massage you.
Tell us about, there is actually a service snake. You know.
Yeah, there is one actually.
Do they have little vests you put on them?
If it'll stay on, you can, yeah. But there is a gentleman. He has. I want to say he has. I'm not sure his was a boa. I think his might have been a boa. But this snake can actually detect when he's getting ready to have a seizure.
Yes.
It sits around his neck, and when he's getting ready to have a seizure, he'll actually squeeze on tighter, so he knows he's about to have a seizure, and then he can go, prepare himself.
Does it close them out before you can have a season?
I don't know.
Well, he kind of goes and
There we go,
calms him
Tom.
down, lets him know notification.
Yeah.
here's your online notification. It's a reptile.
Yeah.
So
That's the first one. Now here's another ball python. This is our boy Howie, and he's actually an albino ball python. So he doesn't have any of the melanin, the dark black pigment. So he's just left with the yellow and the white patterns on him. He is a very sweet boy. I love my boy Howie.
yeah,
He's so
we
peaceful.
think he's a little bit blind, correct?
Yeah, it's quite common for albinos to have bad eyesight. He does seem to struggle.
You want Jason? You want to take him? We're gonna pass some snakes around. I said we get all Pentecostal church. No, it's
Well, that's
okay.
a
It's okay.
really strange color eyes.
Yeah, yeah, because he's lacking that black pigment also in his eyes as well. So that's why he's got those pink eyes.
Yeah,
Now, this little guy here, this was our very first snake. Amber actually picked him out.
of thousands.
Picked him out of thousands. This is our boy Rick Astley, the ball python. He has his own Facebook page and website.
Where's Jason over there?
And
Matt, well, you want to take him? If Jason gets all a little bit like, oh no, go
there you
ahead.
go. That's your boy.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I think.
So as you can see, all of these ball pythons, they just come in such amazing colors and patterns. Obviously, some are more valuable than others. There's some out there that even I couldn't afford. They go in 5 digits.
Yes.
Wow.
Some of them you get, they're so rare, people don't even sell them. They're like this Picasso of snakes.
Yeah,
These are beautiful animals.
I think
they are. Now, this is our newest one. He hasn't been on the show before. He's about a year old now. This is our boy Artie. He's named after Art Garfunkel. And he's a different pattern again.
Would you like to be pet?
Yeah, yeah,
Some of them are head shy. Howie isn't head shy.
Head shy.
yeah.
He's Charlie's pretty good. You
But
know.
he's a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, Charlie's okay. Howie's the best one for touching his head. You can stroke his head. He doesn't mind.
He's relaxing now.
Yeah. So this is Artie. He's our newest one. We've had him about a year now. We got him in Chicago, one of the biggest reptile show they have there every year. So he's actually called a butter genetic stripe. He has, instead of the usual sort of mottled pattern, he just has a single stripe down his back.
Yeah.
So these are
Just-
snakes
Huh?
specifically for people to be able to hold them and get to know reptiles.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes.
This is.
Have they ever bitten anybody?
Nope, none of my. I've never been bitten by any of my snakes. They've never bitten anybody. This guy I have to watch for a little bit because he's a very aggressive feeder. So every time you open his cage, he thinks food's coming in. So you have to let him know there's no food, and then he's okay.
Yeah. Usually Philip does that with the hook. You know, you kind of just have to know. You know, usually when you get bitten by accident.
What's like the average price of one of these?
The normal pattern ball pythons, they average about $50. If you go to some of the snake shows, you may find them as cheap as $25.
Yes.
People breed them for the best patterns. So, you'll usually when you do that, you'll get quite a lot of normals. So normals go for a very good price.
Yeah.
And then they go up from there. My albino was about $100, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Too cold in here for them?
No,
they'll
they're
be
fine. They'll just hold on tighter to warm up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I know they can't hear me, but these snakes seem to be so animated. That's unusual from what I've seen about them.
Animated.
They're kind of curious. Yeah. I mean, one of the defenses of the ball python is it rolls into a ball if it's scared. That's its defense.
Yeah.
They'll bury their head.
This one here likes to get kind of close
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, these snakes have been around thousands of people, literally.
Literally thousands.
You know, we do these shows a couple of times a year. There's usually about 400 to 500 people there. I'm sorry?
You ever had him choke someone out on accident?
No,
No.
although somebody...
Questions that everybody's going to ask themselves
Yeah.
when they see this.
I had one of them around my throat. Was it last week? Not last weekend. Weekend before, we did a birthday party. I think it was Charlie, and he got a little bit tighter around my neck, just because
Yeah.
he was getting scared of falling.
Yeah.
But he was okay. I just
Yeah.
it just shocked me because he doesn't usually hold on that tight. But I think
Yeah.
he was scared of falling. I was walking around.
He's
Yeah.
wrestling in the crook of my arm now.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he? The thing about it is a lot of times, you know, people
It's like a massage.
people get snakes and they put them in cages and they don't touch them, and you can't do that and have any type of a, you know, placid animal. You can't, you know, we know that, you know, we don't like to, you know, you don't have a little kid taking care of a snake that's just poking at it, and you know,
Yeah.
so I mean, a lot of it is care, Phil. You know, and we've
Yeah, it is, and it's respect for the animals as well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things we like to teach at Reptile Day is, you know, they're not animals to be feared. We just have to respect them and understand how they, you know, how they see the world.
To him either.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, a lot of them will say, you know, the first thing, and it's kind of hard because when we put our pictures of snakes online, what does most people say under our comments?
Oh yeah, it's like ew. Or
Kill it, kill it.
That question you just asked, Jay?
What determines their size?
Part of it is how much you feed them. There is a maximum size that different breeds will get to. Ball pythons don't get too large, you know. The largest ones, which usually are going to be females, are generally a little bit larger than males, so they'll get, you know, 4 absolute max, maybe 5 feet if you've got a very large female. These are all males. Howie is probably pretty close to fully grown. He may still grow a bit. But see, he's been a much better eater than Rick. Rick is older, but he's been a little bit fickle with his food. Howie's never usually refuses a meal, although lately he has. It's just, I think he's just got into breeding
I'm
season,
gonna get a
breeding
little
mode.
close-up.
Isn't it
Yeah.
cute?
This is, who is this?
That's Charlie.
Charlie. Now, the downside of overfeeding them is they can actually get fatty liver disease, which can be fatal. So you don't want to overdo it. But just with ball pythons, I average about, you know, you just average once a week. The older ones sometimes will go 2 weeks before they really get hungry. This little guy here, because he's younger, every time he sees you walk past, he'll stick his head out like, food.
Food. And
So-
not in an aggressive way. He just is
No, he's
very
just,
inquisitive.
yeah, he's very inquisitive. He's a good boy.
Yeah. But you can tell with our snakes that we have taken them out. They've been with kids a lot. And,
Yeah.
It makes me more nervous for like the snakes being held by other people than for the safety of the people.
Well, you
Because-
don't want people to freak out and drop them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drop
and some
them.
kids have had sort of crazy reactions. You know, they grab them.
Or-
You know, we teach them just, you know, let them sit on your hand, let them feel safe that they're not going to fall.
Yeah.
Don't grab them, don't lunge for the head, don't come in from above. You know, they're all things that are just going to make the snake nervous.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and it's one of those things, you don't really tame them, you just gain their trust. And we've gained these snakes' trust, so they're not acting scared, they're just exploring, they're just you know, having a good time.
Yeah. And a lot of the things, like they say, Philip, with when you get a snake, everyone's like, well, what should be the snake you get? Well, it's not the going for the whole hog. You know, you really have to have experience and share a little bit about that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely snakes which, you know, would be recommended as a first snake, and the two most common are going to be either a corn snake or a ball python.
Yeah.
Corn snakes are very easy to feed, very easy to keep. They're great. We have a corn snake. Who is it? Floyd, our
Floyd.
albino. He's very easy to feed.
Ball python.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing with corn snakes is they're very active.
Oh, yeah.
They're not going to sit in your hand like this. They're not going to sit on your lap. They're always moving, always exploring, especially the young ones. They're very wiggly, very hard to hold on to. So that's kind of the downside. Plus, they're very small to start with, so they can be easily be hurt by a small child. With the ball pythons, they're a good first snake because they're not super active. You know, they explore, they don't go anywhere too quickly. They're less likely to get hurt because they are a larger snake, but they can be a little bit fickle when it comes to feeding. We still have some that will only take live food, so that's something you've got to be prepared for, that you're okay feeding live
Yeah.
rodents. These guys are all taking frozen, so that's one good thing.
Except when my mom opens the freezer and finds a bunch of
Yeah,
frozen
yeah,
rats.
that does change the dynamics.
Yeah.
To move him. I never actually felt that before. That's cool.
So yeah, those would be good places to start. But this is all information you can learn at both these events, Reptile Day and also the Show Me Show. One of the good things I like about the Show Me Show is it's one of the best places to find a new snake. You get to talk to the breeders directly, get to know them, get to see their animals, see how well they're kept. You can ask questions.
Have you ever bathed these?
Yeah. Well,
don't have to bathe
we
them.
like to soak them.
Yeah, some of them, we've got one at home, Lemmy. He doesn't shed very well. He never has. So we usually end up soaking him. Amber gives him a spa treatment.
I do spa treatments for snakes.
She does, yeah, and takes...
I do. I do I do the lizards and the snake. Well, actually the lizards are not as they eat their own shit.
They eat their own shad.
So-
Snakes don't, but you can tell. Howie here shed 2 weeks ago, and he left a perfect full shed in his cage. That's what you want to see.
Like long, like this.
Yeah.
It was so.
But
unique.
sometimes a year, if the humidity is too low, they do have trouble shedding, or it almost seems to just like explode off them. You just find, a cage full of pieces of skin.
Yeah.
Ideally, it wants to come off in one piece.
Yeah, I like to make sure that their enclosures have enough humidity, have enough. A snake is low maintenance, but you really have to kind of have their setup conducive to.
It's just the basic husbandry. Once you get the temperature and the humidity right, everything else is good.
Yeah, and
They'll eat well.
Yeah, you can. They don't eat like a lot of them just eat once a week, and as I said, some of the ball pythons, when a certain time of year, they go into a period where they don't eat for a month, or and
Yeah.
that's a finicky.
Usually
part
coincides with like breeding season. When they're older, that's the time of year temperatures change and they get ready for breeding, so they lose interest in food.
Yes.
Are there other behaviors that relate to that cycle?
You mean the breeding cycle?
Yeah, the snakes do have a behavior.
Not
Turn on
really.
good music.
Yeah, put on some Barry White. Now,
Turn the lights down low.
yeah. Yeah, because they feel vibrations, so, Barry White. They like that nice deep sound.
Interact with each other during that season.
Well, they're not kept together, so they all have their own enclosures. They don't, they're solitary animals. They won't directly hurt each other, but when you get a more dominant snake, the smaller one will get stressed out, and that stress can actually kill them.
Yeah.
The most they do is sort of push each other out of the way with their bodies.
Isn't it?
But it's enough to make them nervous, and they'll stop eating, go off feed, and then they can die.
Yeah.
We only have male snakes. We never had an interest in breeding them. So it's just easier just to have males. They're not quite as big.
They do. They
Yeah.
live a long time if you.
They
keep
do.
them.
That's a good point. Yeah. People don't realize that with reptiles, but ball pythons can live, on average 25 to 30 years. Some have lived longer than that.
Yeah.
So it is a long-term investment, but it is a low-maintenance investment.
Yes.
When you're only feeding a snake once a week and only cleaning them once a week, you can go out of town as long as they've got a lot of water there.
Yeah. Fresh water and.
They're fine. They'll take care of themselves.
Yeah.
It's funny how he reaches.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
does.
yeah, they do.
Close enough.
Yeah. He'll go to it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just partially looking for an escape, but also just exploring.
Yeah. Just exploring.
Well,
The one thing that you know that they're relaxed is when they start going out like that. They're relaxed with being held.
Yeah.
And if they're not relaxed, they'll curl up like a cinnamon roll and they'll hide their head.
Yeah.
So, as you say,
Yeah, a couple of other things as well. I mean, one of the things you might be able to see is their breathing. If they're relaxed breathing, they're okay. If they look like they're hyperventilating, they're obviously stressed.
yes.
The other thing is the tongue movement. If you look at their tongue movements, there's two kinds. There's a short, fast tongue movement, and then there's this long, slower tongue movement. Obviously, the long, slow tongue movements mean they're relaxed. And you can see some of them. I was watching Artie here, and he was doing some nice, long, slow tongue flicks.
Yeah.
So he's very chilled out and just exploring.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
Yeah.
They do like to be, it's so funny because I will just gently, sometimes I'll help one of our snakes shed if they have any stuck shed, and very gently, washing them and helping them shed. It's almost like they kind of develop that relationship with you, and they know that you're helping them, and
Lemmy almost sort of leans into it.
he leans into it. He likes to be scratched like a dog. I mean, literally. No, Lemmy is actually not here.
He actually
today.
just went into shed, so
We didn't bring
we'll
him
have all
here
this fun.
because when they do go into shed, they kind of turn them they call it going into blue, where their eyes kind of turn a blue color.
Yeah, it's the pre-shed.
So it gets uncomfortable for them. Philip, tell us about the
Yeah,
how they-
basically, if you hear people talking about a snake going into blue, it's the first stage of shedding. They shed because of, as they grow, usually, every couple of months you'll see a snake shed. Just depends how quickly they're growing or if they've got damage on their skin that they're repairing. But basically their scales, they develop just a tiny bit of, it's almost, if you can imagine, like a milky substance that develops between the outer layer of their scale and the next layer. And it kind of gives them a gray-blue color while they do that. And that usually lasts about a week, can last about a week. And then they clear up. They look like that's gone. Usually a couple of days after that, they'll just suddenly shed the entire outer layer. So this sort of substance, it actually, I can't think of the technical term for it, but it basically causes that outer layer of the skin to separate so it can be shed.
Isn't it like a milky type?
It is kind
substance?
of milky, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's why they say that it goes.
and that's
blue.
what gives it. Their eyes will cloud over, and it's kind of painful for them. That's why they get a little bit.
Antsy.
Yeah, they don't like to be touched as much. If you've got a snake that's in blue and doesn't mind being handled, you've got a very good snake.
Which ours do.
we have
ours
some
are,
that
ours
are
are
okay.
really good with that.
Yeah.
So, Tom, do you have any more questions or thoughts you'd like to add to our snake handling session here? It's very Pentecostal, isn't it?
No, I'm just getting all educated here.
It's very fascinating. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, yuck. And I had a really big phobia of snakes. Do you have a fear of snakes? Did you grow up with?
I don't really care for them at all,
He's told me this before.
but I do try to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't want to just kill every single snake that you see in your backyard.
No.
Absolutely, and they're very, very useful.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that a lot of times that you don't realize how much that snakes are a necessary part of the ecosystem in general. I think. Are you finished with Holden? You're gonna pass him over back.
I can
to
rescue you.
Yeah, pass him
there
to
you
the
go.
back to the Philip. He will take that boy for you. Yeah, he's kind of a big boy.
Oh,
but
he's cold. He's very cold.
He's a good boy. But thank you once again, Philip. Tell us about those events and when they're happening.
Okay, so this Saturday, September 14th, is the Reptile Day at the Fairbanks. Free community event from 10 to 2 at the old Fairbanks School, which church is it now?
Is it Life 360?
I think it's Life 360, yeah.
At the Fairbanks.
But it's kind of a multi-use building as well. There's a couple of other little ministries and things that operate out of there. So that is this coming Saturday. Come along, completely free. And then the following Saturday, the 21st, at the Ozark Empire Fairground is the Show Me Snakes and Exotics show.
Yeah.
$5 for adults, kids 12 and under are free, and that goes from 10 to 3.
Massage.
Yeah, it is. Isn't it
Yeah.
calming? It is
Yeah.
calming. So to kids 12 and under.
12 and under are free at the Show Me show, and
Okay.
that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, and that's really a good place. I
Yeah.
know when people say, "Oh, I'm contemplating getting a reptile," I always tell them go to some place like an expo, because you'll get really people who are know and have a lot of knowledge about the snakes,
Yeah.
a lot of knowledge about all reptiles in general, and you can find like hedgehogs and stuff there as well, like little all the exotic animals, and you can really get to know the breeders. It's not like like a pet store where things come in on trucks and you don't know where they came from. These
Yeah.
are people who've actually done race these and have a history with knowing and actually knowing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
history of the.
This guy back to you.
Yeah, so he's coming back. Charlie's coming back to the
Thanks, George.
Char Char Binks. We call him sometimes. We call him Char Char Binks sometimes.
He misses me already.
He does. He misses you.
It's
It's
9:51 already.
it is 9:51.
It
You know what?
is.
And we have a natural solution we need to get to before the end of the show.
Yes, while we're putting snakes away,
Snakes and
we should
trade.
talk about all natural cold and sinus. This product provides relief from allergy symptoms and supports natural oxidants. Overall, it improves sinus and respiratory health, supports immune functions. It clears ears, nasal, and sinus passages, soothes tissue and membranes, and balances moisture and mucus. And all natural cold and sinus is available at naturalsolutionstore.bz.
Wow. Well, do you have a quick, any quick word of encouragement or any quick thing that you want to share?
Well,
Tom?
I will throw this one out. I just read this the other day. A Florida elementary school was bullied for making a homemade University of Tennessee T-shirt and wearing it to
Wow.
school. So the University of Tennessee made his UT design into an official T-shirt. For College Colors Day, Laura Snyder, his teacher at Altamont Elementary School, says her student drew a UT on paper and pinned it to an orange T-shirt. That's probably all that he could afford to do. When the day finally arrived, he was excited to show me the shirt. She said, I was impressed that he took it one step further to make his own label. By lunch, he was in tears because some people had bullied him. He was
Yeah.
devastated. In less than 24 hours, her Facebook post had gone viral among Tennessee fans, with lots of people leaving supportive comments. And it wasn't long before the University of Tennessee reached out. He received a care package
Wow.
with tons of apparel.
That's
In addition, the University of Tennessee is selling his UT design as an official T-shirt.
Wow.
So a portion of the proceeds from every shirt sold will be donated to the nonprofit Stomp Out Bullying.
That's amazing.
So that is just cool. It was just they took the actual thing that he had just drawn on paper and pinned to his shirt.
Wow.
Wow.
And you can't hardly see it, but they took that and they actually took that the artwork that
Exact
he just
artwork.
drew, and now it's on an orange T-shirt.
That's
white,
amazing.
white on orange. So good
You-
for University of Tennessee.
Good for University of Tennessee. You know what the thing about it is I love when that social media is becoming a place where we hear these stories and we get to celebrate these very unique opportunities that kids have to make a difference in their communities, to stop bullying. Look, just think how his just a small thing of what he did is encouraging others and actually going to stop bullying in a campaign. So that's really really cool.
Absolutely.
So, oh my goodness, we are out of time. Is that crazy?
That has gone so quick.
It was all the snakes and muffins.
It was snakes and muffins.
Snakes and muffins.
Oh, nothing.
Snuffin.
Snuffins.
the Snuffin episode of Something to Celebrate.
Hey, and one last note about that. To make the story even better, the demand of the students' T-shirt was so high on Saturday that it crashed University of Tennessee's online shop.
Wow.
That is incredible. Well, such an exciting show. Make sure that you check out the Reptile Day at the Fairbanks.
Yes.
And the Show Me Snakes coming to the Ozark Empire Fair. And we'll put all the links in, and we'll put the link to this article. Really good stuff. Until next time, this is Amber
And Tom?
And Philip and Howie.
saying, step into the sunshine and find something to celebrate today. Get a muffin top. I will do an official muffin top day. I'll